And we're actually going to start standing today. So you can come to stand before everyone gets comfy on the floor. Just something different. Trying to step out of our comfortable boxes and move into something different without expectation. So just finding a comfortable way to stand, however that is for you. And then releasing into that, allowing the arms to rest at your sides, bringing them over your heart center, whatever feels right, bringing together, palms together, and then softly closing your eyes so that you can just settle a little deeper, let go of any sensory input or quiet it a little, and then focus on the breath. So we use that exhale to just settle into the foundation through the soles of the feet, aware of the earth beneath you. Soften with the exhale, starting to let go of the efforting that we know we have hold in our bodies. Starting to let go of the stories in our heads, the thoughts that race around. Natural human condition, and it takes this concentration, this effort, this awareness to let it all go. Deep breath in, filling the front and back of the heart space. Exhale, settle into the soles of the feet. Inhaling, lengthening through the crown of the head. So there's some integrity without effort, aware of a long spine, of an open heart, and aware of the rhythm of your breath. Without changing, fixing, judging, just allowing and following the breath from beginning to end. Bringing awareness to the tip of your nose, following the breath through the exhale, out through the tip of your nose if possible. One breath leading to the next, with just a gentle pause between the breaths. Aware of any tightness, gripping, breathing into that space we say, and exhaling, letting it go. And just for a moment, thinking about what brought you to your practice. Take some effort to roll out the mat and prepare yourself. What is your hope for your mind, your body, your spirit? What is your intention? Shortening that to a word or a phrase and placing it in an I am statement. Repeating that softly to yourself a few times as if it were true and already happening. Gently allowing the focus to come back to the rhythm of your breath. Noticing, are the inhales the same length as the exhales? Maybe evening it out a bit to make them the same. Maybe noticing where you feel the inhales settle. Can you soften and allow the breath to move a little deeper? Knowing that the ribs protect the lungs. That the muscles between the ribs and their expansion allow the lungs to fill completely. And then with the letting go of the diaphragm and the contraction of those muscles between the ribs, the breath is gently hugged out. The body does this all on its own. And as we bring awareness to this, there's a settling in the mind. We tap into that peaceful side. We start to bring the body back into balance by using the breath. Breathing into the side ribs, that space just below the last rib in alignment with the belly button. See if you don't feel or allow a deeper breath, a deeper expansion of the thoracic body. And then maybe aware of the belly gathering in and up without efforting, hugging the breath out. To create even more space for a deeper inhale. Maybe bring a focus to that pause at the end of the breath before the next inhale. Can you take that beat to let go and allow? Two more rounds like this. As we move through the practice, using the breath, honoring wherever our bodies are today, meeting them without expectation or judgment. Open to the joy of the practice, the simple joy of moving our bodies together, focused on the breath. So, breathing, moving together, knowing that our practice is our own, that each is different. With your inhale, allow the arms to float out, around, and up, and the palms float together and they settle at the heart center. Allowing the chin to dip towards the notch in the collarbone, softly blinking open the eyes if they're not open already, to take in the fingertips, the floor beneath you, and inhaling to gaze forward, letting the arms release, roll through the shoulders. Big circles as your body allows, sliding the shoulder blades up and down the back body, shoulders a little forward and together on the back, and then forward a couple of times. Inhaling the shoulders up to the ears, exhale, let them soften. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Finding the foundation through the soles of the feet. Now the feet are hips distance, maybe the inner heel under the hip bones, so maybe a little wider. What makes you feel safe and secure? And then we root into the circumference of the heels, find the legs becoming active. We inhale and lengthen the crown of the head to the ceiling, finding the breath. And with the next inhale, allow the arms to float up as well. And exhale, float them down. Maybe reversing the palms to inhale and float up, even allowing the palms to cup. And exhale, reversing, flipping them down. The next time you inhale up, pause there. Exhale, float it through the heart center. Inhaling, floating the arms out, around, and up. Exhaling, bringing it through the heart center. One last time around like this. No effort, just linking simple movement with the breath and allowing the hands to float to the heart center. Letting the arms extend, and with your next inhale, the right arm extends, reaches alongside the ear, softening the arm into the shoulder socket. Equal weight in both feet. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, shifting to the left. Inhale, up to center. So that you're flowing throughout the breath with a soft left shoulder. The arm naturally slides down the side of the thigh. With a released right shoulder, the opening from hip to armpit. The rooting into the right foot secures you, gives you a foundation to allow you to move one last time up and over. The up is important, and inhaling back to center, floating that arm down, shake it out, let it go, bend the knees, and then find your foundation again. Rooting down to lengthen up, we inhale the left arm alongside your ear. Softening through the right shoulder, keeping integrity through the spine, lengthening to the ceilings, rooting into both feet, not shifting the weight, exhaling, shoulders shift over to the left, inhaling up to center. Finding your range of motion at this moment, aware of the core that moves you, the foundation through the lower half of the body, from the soles of the feet to the hips, that keep you rooted, to allow for the lengthening. It is the firm roots in a tree that allow the branches to bend, right? If we're too stiff or effort too much, we're not flowing. The next time we inhale up, find stillness, float that arm down, roll through the shoulders, walk the feet wider, and take some hip circles, just exploring the hips. How much movement do you have? Not judging, just noticing side to side that there's an asymmetry perhaps. What do you feel? Not attaching it or judging to it. Just noticing, reversing the circles if you haven't already. And then finding stillness and walking back to your foundation. Stepping to the top of your mat, short side of your mat, allowing the weight to shift over the right leg so that you can step or slide the left foot back. Straight legs to start, feet rooted. Do you feel in balance, or are you trying to find your center? Maybe widening the stance helps. Side to side, forward, back, maybe bringing them closer together. And then we find that foundation and commit to it. And we lengthen up and breathe into the front and back of the heart space. Maybe inhaling the arms up into cactus, exhaling, settling the hips straight down to bend into that right knee. So that it lands right over the ankle. Nice. With your inhale, straighten through that right knee without locking it. With your exhale, bring fingertips, heel of the hand, elbows maybe together, bend the knee. Inhale, straighten, draw the shoulder blades to the center of the back. Moving in and out with your breath, taking the full 3 or 4 counts to come into the fullest expression of each pose, and honoring your body. Maybe you're not bending that knee at all today. Maybe you're not moving the shoulders, but you're not efforting, and you're smoothing out the edges, finding stillness there, floating the arms down, stepping that back foot forward, bend the knees, roll the ankles, shake it out, let it go. Land in your Tadasana for a couple of rounds of breath. Using the exhales to let go. The inhales to find that length again through the crown of the head. The exhales to root, to shift the weight over the left leg so that you can step or walk that right foot back. And then adjust for this side. so that you feel safe, supported, and rooted to the earth so that you can lengthen through the crown of the head. Inhaling, arms up into cactus. Exhaling, bending into the left knee, settling the hips straight down. Shoulders stay right where they are, over the hips. Nice. How does this feel? To rest in the stillness of your warrior one. With your inhale, the leg straightens. With your exhale, knee bends, maybe hands and arms come together. Inhaling, exhaling. Your breath, your body. Maybe you're moving faster or slower. Remember, I'm just modeling, not practicing. You're bringing awareness to the breath and allowing it to guide you. To let go of the efforting and find the ease in the flow. The flow of the breath, the flow of the movement from one pose into the next, smoothing out the edges. And just finding the joy in moving our bodies. And finding stillness there, floating the arms down and stepping that back foot forward, bend the knees, shake it out, let it go. Finding, coming to the long side of your mat and walking the feet nice and wide with the edges of the feet parallel to the edges of the mat. So pinky toes side, parallel, toes pointing to the long end. Nice. Allowing the hands to rest on the hips or the lower back, back of the hands, palm of the hands, what feels good for you, more natural. Root into the feet and again, find that integrity through the back body, rooting down, lengthening up, and then allowing the shoulder blades to slide together. Inhaling, lifting the heart to the ceiling. This is a gentle back bend. Wherever you land, that's where you're meant to be. You're not over-efforting in the lower back. You're keeping that tailbone in a 30-degree angle, not pointed to the heels, not lifting to the ceiling to compress the lower back. It's somewhere in between. And it's about the ribs lifting and the shoulder blades supporting the heart so it can reach to the ceiling. You breathe into that space and allow the chin to soften to the notch in the collarbone. And with your next exhale, come all the way up to stand and hinge forward. Keep drawing the elbows to the ceiling, shoulder blades flat on the back. Reaching, inhaling the heart away from the belly. So no rounding in the back, long spine. From the crown of the head to the tailbone, let the hands slide to the top of the hips. Still working the shoulder blades together. And we'll find your expression of cat, allowing the tailbone to settle towards the heels, opening up through the lower back. Inhaling, tailbone to ceiling. Trying to keep the upper body quiet and peaceful. Shoulder blades flat on the back, heart open. Can you limit the movement or isolate the movement to the hips rolling over the femur bones, hugging the belly to the ceiling, and then allowing it to soften to the earth as the tailbone lifts. Maybe you feel a gentle opening in the lower back in your cat or pelvic tilt, and maybe you're aware of an opening through the hamstrings and the front body. Just noticing, where do you feel this? Can you soften? Can you allow with the next exhale for the entire spine to start to lift to the ceiling without compressing the front body? Just lifting back body. And with your inhale, tailbone lifts, belly softens, heart reaches forward without any efforting in the back of the neck. Exploring your expression of cat and cow this morning. Moving one vertebra at a time. Movement linked to breath. If you are lifting your gaze, is it a slow, mindful lifting without compressing the back of the neck, but rather opening through the front of the throat? Just noticing, letting go of all efforting and finding the ease. One more round like this, and then settling into that flat back, root into the feet, inhale all the way up to stand, roll through the shoulders, shake the hips, let that go. Sorry. We'll step to the top of the mat, the short end of your mat. Find your Tadasana again and take a couple of rounds of breath here as you settle into this pose. Following the breath from beginning to end, allowing it to fill the heart space. Nourishing this body, the only body you have, right? We're stuck with it. Finding the joy in this body, just in the simple act of breathing. Taking the ability to take a full breath into the front and back of the heart space. With your next inhale, allow the arms to float out, around, and extend up. With your exhale, swan dive down. With awareness and intention, inhale, lengthening there. Where are you gripping? Exhale, settle. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Exhale, float it to the heart center. Inhaling, floating the arms around if that suits you, out to the side, in front of you. Exhale, folding, hinging at the hips, not the waist, keeping that long front body. Finding integrity with the breath to bring awareness to the pose, to the foundation, to the lengthening, to the softening. Rooting down with your exhale, the legs become active, the belly supports. Inhale all the way up to stand. Exhale to the heart center. Allowing the palms to float together and rest there. Allowing the weight to shift into the left leg so you can walk, step, slide that right foot back. Warrior one. Again. And then settle into the foundation. Find what works for you. Smile, it's just yoga. With your exhale, bend into the left knee. Aware of that right hip lengthening, opening from the heart space all the way down, maybe to the knee. A lengthening through the entire front body. Maybe inhaling that right arm alongside your ear. Even more length. Soften the arm and the shoulder socket. Inhale it straight out in front of you. And then over to the left. So now the wrist maybe is over the left knee. Yes. Inhale, find length. Exhale, support the core. Allow that left arm to reach back. Forward and back in your warrior one. In a gentle twist to the left. Yes. So left knee is bent. The heart is facing the left knee. The arms reach and extend forward. I don't know what I said, but try and find it. Don't worry about it. Don't judge it. Just breathe with it. Rooting down. We keep that rooting to the back heel and the front foot. Reaching to the earth so we can lengthen to the sky. Maybe find a deeper opening from fingertip to fingertip. With your next inhale, Float it back to center. Exhale, float the hands down. Let that back foot come forward. Walk it out. Land in your Tadasana again. Take a couple of rounds of breath. Scan your body. Let go of the thoughts, the judgments, the expectations. Can we be curious about the other side? Whatever comes up, allowing the weight to shift over the right leg to step that left foot back. And then finding a safe, secure support here. Inhaling the hands to the heart space, aware of that lifted heart. Exhaling, bending into the knee to settle the hips. Shoulders stay right where they are. Not forward, not back. Breathing into the left side body. Maybe extending the left arm up if that suits you for a fuller expression, deeper expansion, not necessary though. Keep reaching back and down into that heel. So as along with opening up that front hip crease, maybe you feel this in the back of the calf. Just noticing, keeping the length through the spine, extending this left arm forward and then over to the right knee. Inhale, lengthening, exhale, opening up the heart to the right, maybe extending that right arm back as well. Reaching from fingertip to fingertip. Not efforting, just allowing. Smooth, even breaths. Maybe gazing forward, maybe gazing back. I didn't change the gaze in the last one, just noticing. With your inhale, coming back to center and stepping that back foot forward and walking it out. And landing in your Tadasana again. Deep breath in, sigh the breath out, settle into your rhythm. Nice. With your inhale, the arms float out around and up. And with your exhale, we hinge forward. With your inhale, we lengthen. With your exhale, we sink a little deeper. Maybe inhaling the heart away from the thighs as we exhale and reach the hips back, coming into a chair pose. Maybe hands stay on the hips. Maybe they extend straight out in front of you. Soft shoulders, open heart, strong foundation. Root into the soles of the feet. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, heart center. Inhaling out, around, and up. Exhaling, swan dive forward if that suits you. Inhale, finding length. Exhale, hip creases reach back. Inhale, heart lifts away from the thighs. Your expression of chair pose. Strong legs, maybe the arms extend. Tailbone is reaching towards the earth. Heart lifting to where the wall meets the ceiling. Rooting down, we inhale and extend up. Exhale, bring it to the heart center. Let the thumbs rest against the sternum. Find the breath and smooth it out. Maybe noticing the thoughts, the stories. Can we just let them float away for now and follow the breath from beginning to end? Aware of the breath moving in your body. Using the exhales to soften. Maybe softly closing the eyes to connect a little deeper. What do you notice? The beating of your heart, the breath, sensation in the body. This is a meditation from Ralph Gates. Joy as an open mind. Mindfulness is both spacious awareness and the awareness of being aware. It is also the spirit of adventure, desire to learn more, the child's curiosity as she expands her discovery of the natural world in her backyard into an adult inquiry into what is true. The practice of joy reawakens our natural interest in things we do not know and have not thought or felt before. He writes, as I sit quietly this morning, right here at the beginning of the in-breath, I felt the contracted states I have held in my body. I could feel the dread, the sadness, the craving, the proving. I felt this history in my body as a tension that I could release. Not only did it feel good to be able to let go of this tension, it put the concept of history in my body into perspective. Maybe history in my body is not something to be afraid of. Maybe it isn't permanent. This was a joyful experience. Then I got curious. How else was I holding history? We hold our history in our bodies. It is a fact. How we deal with that, how we embrace it or not, or judge it or grip it, that's where the practice begins. To just let it be and honor it, be aware of what we hold in our bodies, curious, and then how do we move forward? We bring our history with us, but it doesn't have to control us. Honoring our bodies and wherever we are today. Rooting down to lengthen up. We inhale and allow the arms to float out, around, and up. And we exhale and bow to the earth beneath us, honoring that foundation. We inhale and find length. We exhale, maybe we fold a little deeper. We inhale and float all the way up, lengthening to the vast sky. Exhale, bringing that to the heart center. 2 more rounds like this, flowing with your breath in your body, finding the joy in breath-guided movement. Moving with awareness, celebrating your body and the practice of yoga. Smiling because we choose to practice, to bring awareness to the body, the breath, and our life. Choosing to celebrate. Coming all the way up to stand, allowing the hands to float to the heart center. Allowing the weight to shift to the right leg so we can step that left foot back. We inhale and float the arms up alongside our ears. Exhale, settle into our warrior 1. The hands float together, palms together at the heart center. Inhale, lengthening there. Exhale, gentle twist over that knee. Inhale back to center. Shoulders stay flat on the back as we move side to side. Maybe it helps you to bring them up into cactus. Draw the shoulder blades to the center of the back. Keep them there. Twisting from the waist up. Allowing the heart to come to center and then shine open to the right. 1 more round like this, exploring the twist on the right side and finding stillness, floating those arms down, stepping that back foot forward, shake it out, let it go. Allowing the weight to shift over the left leg so we can step that right foot back. I'm finding warrior one on this side, rooting into the feet, lengthening through the crown of the head, moving with awareness, finding integrity of the pose, what that means for you. Settling into goddess arms or hands together at the heart center. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, opening the heart to the left and floating it back to center. Keeping the foundation stable without efforting into the lower back. The hips are stable. Twisting from the waist up, exploring twisting to the left. Letting go of efforting, letting the breath guide you. Floating back to center, the arms float down and that back foot floats forward. Walking to find the length of your mat to the wide side of the mat. Letting the right foot pivot to the top of the mat. Inhaling, floating the arms out. Find the foundation. As you do that, notice what happens in the lower body. When you say root to the earth, how does the body respond? When you hear extend through the fingertips, how does the body respond? And then connect with the breath. Can you allow the breath to still move freely into the front and back of the heart space? With your exhale, settle into your warrior two. Allow the thigh to be, the knee to bend, the thigh to come parallel to the earth. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, shift the heart a little to the left. Shoulders over hips, ears over shoulders, hips settling to the earth, strong foundation. What happens when you give the body the cue, strong foundation? Can you feel the support in the legs through the soles of the feet? If you breathe into the front and back of the heart space, can you find the rooting down and the floating up? Gazing over those fingertips on the right hand. With your exhale, we float the left hand down and we inhale the right arm up, softening in the shoulder socket. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, coming into your peaceful warrior. Drawing yourself up to inhale into warrior two. Exhale, prepare for peaceful warrior. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, floating into the pose with support. Inhale, breathe into the side body. Exhale, bring yourself back up into warrior two. Land there. Round of breath. How does it feel to be in your warrior? Safe, supported, rooted, yet lifted. Exhaling one more time into your peaceful warrior, moving with the breath to float gracefully and find the peace, connected to the earth, lengthened out of the hips, always integrity, not collapsing into the pose, into the joints, but actively moving with awareness and integrity. Inhaling back into your warrior two, floating the hands down, straightening through that right leg. Pivot the feet so the right foot faces forward and the left foot points to the back of the mat. Shoulder blades soften away from the ears and together on the back body, and we inhale and extend through the fingertips. Ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. With your exhale, hips settle straight down, nothing else moves, just bending that left knee. Keeping from the inner groin, the hip, reaching into that right foot. So that the big toe and pinky toe support you. Strong in your foundation through the left foot. How do you feel in the stillness? What do you notice? Can you bring more awareness to breathing into the heart space and reaching through the fingertips? Can you keep that light half of the upper body and root into the foundation, the strength, support, and security through the feet up into the hips? With your exhale, the right hand floats down. With your inhale, the left arm extends up. Root there, lengthen, ribs out of hips and float into your peaceful warrior, soft shoulders. Bringing the gaze to where it feels comfortable for you. Keeping the bend in the left knee. Rooting into as you press the shin forward. You can inhale and float safely into your warrior two. Knowing that there are always options. If it doesn't feel good for you, please find a different way to be in your pose. I only offer suggestions. With your exhale, the right hand floats down. With your inhale, the left arm floats up. Exhale, recommitting to that foundation. Inhale, floating up so that you can exhale and open into that peaceful warrior. And allow the breath to fill the lungs on the left side. Bringing intention to the pose, honoring your body wherever it is today. Allowing the breath to bring you deeper into awareness. That might mean bringing you a little out of the pose. It might mean allowing you to move a little deeper. With your exhale, root down. With your inhale, float up. How does it feel to rest in your warrior two? Can you surrender to the pose without sinking into the joints? Can you let go of the efforting, find the ease and the joy of the breath that fills the front and back of the heart space? Right here in this moment. With your exhale, float the arms down, straighten that left leg. Heel, toes, step the feet together. Land in your Tadasana. Find the breath. Use the inhales to lengthen through the crown of the head and the exhales to root to the earth. Allowing the breath to find its rhythm, its natural rhythm, to soften even the fingertips, to breathe into that space below the collarbone. This moment will never be here again. Breathing into this moment. One breath following the next. Stepping to the top of your mat, staying in your practice. We inhale and allow the arms to extend. We exhale and hinge forward. Inhale, finding length. Exhale, deeply bend the knees. Let the hands come to the earth. So you can step one knee back and then the other to find your tabletop. Set yourself up. Find the support that you need through the connection to the earth. Actively holding the body, not hanging on the joints. Can you feel the difference if you soften and then bring awareness to the foundation? How does that change the pose? With your exhale, find your expression of cat moving slowly with the breath. With your inhale, Find your expression of cow with the intention of the exhale drawing the spine to the ceiling, with the intention of the inhale opening through the front body, heart reaching through the arms. Maybe lifting the gaze, maybe not. Floating with your breath. Allowing the breath to guide you. Maybe noticing, does this feel a little different than at the start of class? Maybe the difference is just the awareness or the breath. The pose doesn't have to change. It's the awareness that makes the practice consciously moving with the breath and finding stillness with your inhale and a straight spine. Let the big toes touch and the knees walk by wide. Inhale there, exhale, hip creases, reach in the direction of the heels, pause there. Inhale, lengthening through the heart space, away from the belly, exhale, reaching, folding to the earth. Allowing the forehead to come to meet something, stacked hands, a blanket, a block, the earth. Softening through the shoulders. The breath fills the length of the spine. Full breath, filling the back of the heart. Exhaling, releasing, surrendering to the pose. Not efforting into it, just allowing the body to settle, to respond to gravity. Letting go of tension in the shoulders and the jaw and the hips. Allowing the back body to regain its length. So the breath can move easily into that space. Just noticing how you're being in the pose. What happens as you settle into stillness? Aware of the thoughts and the stories. Just gently letting them go for now. Consciously bringing the awareness to the breath in the body and surrendering to the pose. Finding joy in the stillness and the awareness that the stillness brings. With your exhale, gather the belly. With your inhale, bring yourself back up to all fours and take some hip circles here. Get movement throughout the back body in a way that feels organic for you. Not worried, we're not moving from habit, but moving out of curiosity. What if I do this with intention and breath? How does that feel? And then finding stillness in your tabletop. As you bring awareness to the foundation, how does that change the pose? Have you limited the breath, or is it still moving freely? Inhaling, extending through the left leg, keeping the shoulders right where they are, reaching into that heel, lengthening out of the hip socket, and inhaling, lifting it to the ceiling. Finding the breath and maybe staying right here. Both hips facing the earth. Right hip crease drawing back, keeping that length through both sides of the body. Maybe committing to the left hand allows you to extend through the right fingertips. The arm settles in the shoulder socket. As you reach into the heel of the left leg, actively lifting it to the ceiling, And lifting maybe the right thumb to the ceiling, not collapsing through the front body, drawing the front ribs to the back. Total support and ease in the pose. Exhaling, float that right hand down, cross the left foot and back of the right. Open through the left side body, maybe gazing over the right shoulder to find your left toes. Allow the breath to move into the left side. Notice how you're being in the pose. Use the exhales to soften. And then inhaling back to neutral and floating that right left knee down and shake it out, let it go. And then find the foundation again. Recommitting to the strong earth, the solid earth beneath you. Keeping the shoulders right where they are. Inhale, extend the right leg. Toes curl under, heel reaches back. Left hip crease stays drawing back and in. You haven't rocked over to the left. When you're ready, maybe inhaling that right leg straight out and up. So let the hip stays facing the earth. Keeping that right leg active, committing to the right arm. Maybe that enables you to inhale the left arm. Keeping the gaze to the floor, one straight line from the crown of the head, through the tip of the tailbone, from fingertip to heel. Actively working against gravity to keep a long stretch, opening. Heel, leg lifts to ceiling, thumb lifts to the ceiling, maybe. Exhale, float it down. Rock it out. Come up over the knees. Roll through the shoulders, big circles. So standing up on the knees, rooting through the shins and the tops of the feet. Maybe bringing the palms of the hands together, interlace the fingers to the webbing, reverse the finger on top, so awkward way. And roll through those wrists slowly. Reversing the circles. How's the breath? Can you smooth it out? Shake it out, let it go. Bring the shoulders up to the ears, slide them together on the back, soften them down. Exhale, gather the belly, come forward onto hands and knees again. Oh, we forgot to cross that leg over. So inhale that right leg out, crossing them back on the left. Maybe gazing over the left shoulder. And find the breath in the right side body. Maybe you've come down to forearms because this is too much for your wrists. Aware of the foundation helps to take the pressure out of the wrist creases, bringing weight into the pads of the fingers, joints at the base of the fingers. Breath into the right side body. And inhale, that leg comes back, the knee comes back under. Inhaling there, exhaling, hip creases, reach back to the heels. Maybe you're staying here with the knees hips distance, or maybe you're walking them wide. And then inhaling, lengthening the heart, exhaling, bowing to the earth, surrendering to your child pose right now. If knees are together, there's a deeper rounding through the lower back. How does that feel? As the tailbone heavies towards the earth. As the forehead rests on something, third eye making contact. Giving the message, you're safe, secure, supported, and you can soften and surrender. And be in the stillness. One breath following the next. honoring the history that your body carries. We are of the earth. We are of the sky. With the wise heart between the two. Using the breath to tap into that wisdom. To find it in the stillness. With your exhale, gather the belly, walk yourself all the way up to sit onto your heels to allow the hips to come to one side and the legs to extend out in front of you. Walking the hands in back of the hips, straight arms, shoulder blades slide together for a deep opening across the heart, and then we can inhale and lift the heart to where the wall meets the ceiling. Walking the feet the width of the mat, flexing them to come onto the heels. With the exhale, the knees float towards the earth. With your inhale, they float up, and exhale to the other side. Not forcing them to rotate in the hip socket, but allowing it. As that left knee comes to the earth, the right hip lifts and lengthens away from the armpit. As the right knee rotates internally, the hip lifts and we lengthen from hip to armpit. What do you notice? What do you feel? Exploring your body with the breath. Next time you inhale up, find stillness, walk the feet to hips distance, one hand and then the other comes to the back of the thigh. Shoulders rotate up, back and down. We find the sitting bones if you rock from side to side. And inhale, lengthen straight up through the crown of the head from the sitting bones. And all the muscles that wrap around the ribs keep you supported away from the earth to lengthen out of the lower back. And the breath is still smooth and even. And the jaw is soft and the gaze is easy. And maybe you open up to rest on the top of the sacrum, feeling even more work in those core muscles to keep you lengthened and lifted, not collapsing into the lower back, but keeping that long, straight spine. Easy breath. Maybe the palms open to the ceiling. Finding a rhythm of the breath in the body. Coming out of what doesn't feel good, coming back up, opening closer to the earth, or opening up that hip crease to allow the upper body to come a little closer to the earth. How's the breath there? How does the back body feel? Maybe you're carving out the belly with the exhale and lowering yourself down to your elbows and coming to rest flat on the earth. Extending one leg and then the other. Inhaling, allowing the arms to extend up overhead. Reaching through the right heel and the right fingertips. Lengthening through the right side body. Reaching through the left heel and the left fingertips. Lengthening through the left side body. Moving to the right side, inhaling there. Exhaling and moving into the left side body. Deep inhale there. And then coming to neutral, floating the arms down to either side of the hips. Take a round of breath. Releasing, surrendering to corpse pose. One more round of breath. And then exhaling, gathering the belly, drawing one knee and then the other over the chest, maybe clasping in back of the thighs or the shins. Exhaling, maybe drawing the knees a little closer if there's space. Maybe rocking from side to side or making small circles on the lower back. What would feel right for you at this moment? Do you notice? As you work into the muscles in the glutes, in the lower back, allowing the sacrum to rest. Long spine, easy breath. And coming to stillness there. With your hands in back of the knees, drawing the knees out to the sides of the ribs. Pausing there, soft shoulders. Inhaling soles of the feet to the ceiling, coming into your expression of happy baby. Feet are flexed, soften into the pose. Maybe you like to rock from side to side here. Maybe you work your hands up towards your calves or your ankles. Each body expresses the pose differently because we have different bodies. Allow for that. There is no right or wrong. Think of a baby clasping their feet and rocking from side to side. There is joy in this movement. Can you find the joy? Allowing the soles of the feet together and the knees to float wide, letting the feet come to the earth, finding your reclined butterfly. Soles of the feet together, knees open, shoulder blades tuck under the heart space, chin tucks towards the notch in the collarbone. Sigh the breath out. Surrender into your reclined butterfly. Let go of the muscles in the legs, in the hips, in the belly. Breath filling the front and back of the heart space. Exhale there and inhale, walk the knees up towards the ceiling. Feet are hips distance, heels walk in a little closer to the sitting bones. Tucking one shoulder blade and then the other underneath you. Maybe palms face down. Maybe you'd like to work foundation through the shoulders, bending the arms at the elbows, the fingertips lift to the ceiling, palms facing each other. And then root into the shoulders and the upper arms. Yes. Root into the soles of the feet. Soften through the jaw. With your inhale, hips lift. With your exhale, lay lower. With your inhale, rolling up through the back body, lifting, opening through the front. Exhaling, slow with intention, we roll back down. Moving in and out of your rolling bridge, active legs. As if there were a block between the thighs, the legs hug together and root to the earth, lifting through the hips, allowing for a deeper pose as you root into the shoulders, exploring your expression of rolling bridge. Maybe you'd like to come to stillness in your bridge pose. Reconnect to the foundation. Root down. Inhale. Let the heart lift towards the chin. Soften. Find the breath. If you gaze to just below the ribs, you should be able to see the belly rise and fall as the diaphragm contracts and then softens, contracting to allow the lungs to fill. Keep rooting down, contracting to empty the lungs. With your next exhale, gather the belly, slowly rolling out of your bridge pose, allowing the arms to rest on the earth if they're not there already, extending one leg and then the other to lie on the earth, to surrender to the support beneath you, to allow gravity to draw you into that support. The earth beneath you, the vast sky above you, and the wise heart between the two. Breathing into the front and back of the heart space. Simple joy of breath filling the body and that awareness. Not taking it for granted that we have this breath and this moment in this body. Accepting wherever that takes us today. Inhale and exhale, draw the knees in for another hug, rocking from side to side. And then allowing the knees to float up over the hips, as if you were sitting in an invisible chair, allowing the arms to float open in T, with the palms up. Shoulder blades slide together and away from the ears, deep opening from fingertip to fingertip. Does that change the pose? With your next exhale, allow one knee and then the other to float over to the side. Coming to meet the earth. Maybe you need a prop or a pillow to allow a surrender into this twist. Bringing awareness to the breath and the back body. And with your next exhale, can you let go? Maybe that means the shoulders can settle a little closer to the earth, the upper back a little closer to the earth. Softening, allowing the breath to fill that space from armpit to hip. Letting go of any efforting of drawing the knees together, of forcing them to the earth. Just allowing the body to be in this moment, accepting that, meeting it with a joyful heart. Settling into the stillness. With awareness to the breath, releasing, softening into your natural rhythm. With your inhale, gazing up to the ceiling if you've turned your gaze. Exhaling, knees come back over the hips. And then they fall or flow to the other side. Meeting the earth with intention. And then releasing into that security. Allowing the body to respond to gravity. To let go of the efforting with the exhale. Allow the breath to move freely, bringing awareness to the back body, allowing the muscles to find their length, wherever that brings you. Restoring, nourishing the body with the breath. Aware of the thoughts that make us human without attaching to them, without creating a story around them. Allowing them to float away. Bringing in tension, mindfulness to the breath. alert awareness of the breath moving in and moving out. With your inhale, the gaze comes to the ceiling. With your exhale, one knee and then the other floats up. Taking any final movement to complete your practice. You have a few minutes. Maybe there's an inversion or another opening that you would like to give to your body. What do you need? Maybe it's just a hug of the knees and then a release into Shavasana. Only you know what you need right now. Take your time. Maybe a few more rounds of breath in this final pose. And then allowing the body to come to rest in the support of the earth. Propping if you need to, covering up. Extended legs, bent knees. Arms resting on the earth, away from the hips. If you can, rotating the arms in their sockets so the palms face up. Noticing how that changes the pose and gives you a deeper opening across the heart space. A flatter resting into the support of the earth of the shoulder blades. Allowing the breath to move a little freer, a little deeper. Your natural rhythm. Following the breath from beginning to end. Settling into this pose. Surrendering to Shavasana. Can just be that, or you can use it as a time of meditation, of alert awareness, aware of the body resting into the earth, noticing where the body meets it, breathing into your natural curves, the spaces where the body doesn't rest on the earth. Aware of the vast sky above you. Aware of the breath in the heart space. Using those exhales to soften the space between the eyes, to allow the eyes to rest heavy into the back of the head. To allow the forehead to melt towards the earth and all the muscles surrounding the eyes to soften and release. And the jaw softens, and the tongue becomes heavy, and the lips softly meet, and all the muscles in the face melt towards the earth. Breathing in and breathing out. Aware of the breath, following it from the start to the end. From the inhale to the exhale. From the tip of the nose, out the tip of the nose. It's the anchor of the breath that allows us to draw back, to let go of the thoughts and come back into the still body. to bring the mind, the body, and the heart back into balance. With new awareness, new joy for each moment. Knowing that we hold a history in our bodies, can we explore that history joyfully? To hold it in equanimity, without clinging or aversion, to just be. We all have a history of injuries, of surgeries, of childbearing, of use and abuse. What we have or have not done or experienced, each of us a different history. And we all hold that history a little different in our bodies. Can we find a joyful way to hold that history and let go of the effort to allow an easeful breath and movement with a conscious inhale and exhale, what to become aware of. We practice not to label it or judge it, just a conscious awareness so that we let go. We pause, we breathe, we check in, aware of the thinking body, aware of the feeling body, aware of the emotional body. Moving deeper with the breath, honoring all of it. One does not live exclusively without the other. Some people find it helpful to think of the physical body as a temple. What do you see in your mind's eye when you say temple? What is the image? If your physical body is the temple of your soul, does that change the way you see your body? Physical body. Maybe you've had the experience of stepping through the doors of an ancient gathering place. And you can see it in your mind's eye. And you can feel your steps on whatever the floor was beneath you, wood or stone or dirt. What else did your senses bring to you? It was a conscious awareness to take in everything around you, to not miss a thing, to really feel the history of that place. And as you became aware of the physical structure, there was a deep connection to the peoples that walked through before you, to the history, to the souls that shared that space. The physical building, holding the spiritual connection of all the peoples. Our body is like that. It is a temple that holds our experience. Can you connect with the joyful, just the holding? Not labeling it good or bad, but just meeting it. Using the breath. We crave that human experience of connection. We bring our physical body into the world to connect deeply. There is a craving to know more. We bring our wise heart into the next moment of joy. Our history comes with us. That allows us to experience the moment without judgment, aversion, or coercion. To experience it anew, like a child, for the first time, each breath, in this body. And how do you take care of this temple? The physical body that houses your spirit. How do you nourish it? Keep it safe, strong, with a strong foundation. And an open heart. Open to whoever might walk into your life. Whatever experience might be in the next step, the next door you walk through. Finding joy in the breath. Connecting with the deeper, wise, loving heart. Slowly becoming aware of the earth beneath you, of the space surrounding you. Gently deepening your inhales and exhales. Slowly bringing your body back from stillness with small, gentle movements. Maybe slowly turning your head from side to side. And with a deep awakening inhale, maybe reaching through the fingertips. And exhaling, floating the arms to a comfortable position as you bend one knee and then the other to step the feet softly onto the earth. Transitioning here, feeling more awake and alert with every inhale. Scanning your body with your breath and just noticing what your practice has given to you today. And bringing this practice off your mat and into your life. Using your arm as a pillow, rolling over to one side or the other. Allowing the breath to fill the heart space. Bringing to mind the intention you started your practice with. Keeping it, changing it, repeating it softly to yourself one more time. Resisting the urge to open your eyes, if that suits you, press into the earth and draw yourself up into a comfortable, easy seated position. And with your inhale, the arms extend. And with your exhale, the palms meet and float to the heart center. And we lift our hearts. And we bow our heads to the light that shines in all of us, uniting us. With the intention that our practice be continuous, that our hearts be steady, that our efforts be of benefit to all beings. May all beings be safe. May they be healthy. May all beings be happy and may they find their freedom. May they know peace and may they walk through the world with ease. Namaste. Thank you for sharing your practice with me.